All right, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon. We are still looking at low round, low value quarterbacks in this draft. Guys who may get drafted, they may not get drafted. We're getting to the point now where it kind of feels like a coin flip if these guys make it. And by make it, I mean get drafted at all. They'll probably get picked up as UDFAs. There's enough there to get pick up on your 90 man, but there's not enough to spend a pick on and give a little guaranteed money to. So let's jump in with Kedon Slovis of BYU, 23 years old when the season starts. He's been around a while. He's been somebody that we've talked about for more than a couple years here, I think. And he was at one point a promising prospect, but it never got over the top with him. It never got there. 6'2" and a half, 223 pounds, 31 and 1/8 inch arms, 9 and 7/8 inch hands, decent measurables. Combine scores were actually good in terms of foot speed. He was the only quarterback who ran at the combine that actually had a respectable 40-yard dash, 4.55, 30-inch vertical. 30-yard vertical would be something else. 9 foot 10-inch broad, pretty good as well. So he had good scores from the combine, right? ESPN was the only major big board that has him getting drafted. They have him in the 7th. The mock draft database has him barely going undrafted. And it's easy to understand why when you look at the numbers. The last 2 years, he's got about 4,000 passing yards, completes about 58% of his passes, 22 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. So you might be wondering, why is this guy even in the conversation at all? And the answer is, it's mostly because he was good in 2019. He was good back when he was at USC. For some reason, he just can't get back up to that level of play. He cannot recreate what he did early in his career. Early in his career, he had some really good years with the Trojans, and it's been a downward descent ever since. So, Slovis positives. He had a good time at the combine, which indicates some of his elusiveness and running ability will translate to the NFL. He understands how to use his eyes to throw the defender off. He's somebody who understands how to look off a safety, look off a linebacker. He's got good pocket presence, good evasive ability of pass rush. He understands how to read a defense and exploit the holes. He's somebody who is a little bit of a processor, which you don't see with every quarterback. So I do value that for sure. He's somebody who understands how to read a zone defense and find where the hole in the zone defense is. He fits the ball into tight windows. In theory, he theoretically fits the ball into tight windows. He's not afraid of it. Now, maybe he should be because of all the turnovers. But enough with the backhanded stuff. Let's just get right into the stuff that's actually straight up negative, and there's plenty of that with Slovis as well. He hasn't really played well since his first couple seasons. Way too many turnovers. He's not doing nearly enough to justify the amount of times he turns the ball over. He doesn't have a very good arm. He doesn't really have the arm strength to consistently make, plays down the field. And the injuries have piled up. He's missed a lot of time in his career, and already at 23 years old, he seems pretty broken. So I got not much to say here. I think it's a little more lively than somebody like a Sam Hartman, just because he has been good at some point. He has shown the ability to be good, but I can't say the evaluation changes that much. Maybe I'd be a little more willing to spend a 7th round pick on him just because of what he was, but it's so long ago, who even really cares? So, 7th rounder or UDFA, one of the two. I guess I like him a little more than Hartman, but not by much, man. So, yeah, there's a pretty thin amount of interest here. I will say I like him a little bit more than this next guy, Austin Reed, another small school quarterback, trying to find the next franchise quarterback to come out of nowhere, Western Kentucky. But I think you're going to have to keep looking. 24 years old when the season starts, 6'1 and a half, 220 pounds, 30 and an eighth inch arms, 9 and 7/8 inch hands. Ran at the combine pretty slow, 4.82, 1.67 10-yard split. So some of the stuff that he did in college will not translate well. It's the Baker Mayfield Colliery. PFF, 5th round pick. They like him. ESPN, 7th round pick. CBS undrafted. Mock draft database, barely undrafted. Very close, though. He's put up numbers. That's one thing I can say about Austin Reed. He's put up some numbers. That's not the case for Slovis. Over the last 2 seasons, Austin Reed has thrown for about 8,000 yards, 71 touchdowns, and 22 interceptions on 63% completion. So he's actually got some statistical credentials here that some of these guys do not have. Now, he's playing for Western Kentucky. It's much easier to produce in that system. It's much easier to produce in that environment. But he did produce. So I do think his pocket presence is good. I think he has a good feel for when he's getting pressured, has a good feel for when he needs to step up or slide. I think that his pocket presence will translate well to the NFL. He reads and processes defense to make decisions. He is somebody who processes information. It's not just a one read and go offense. So that's another thing that I do think translates to an NFL skill set. He extends plays with his legs fairly well. He's not somebody who will run for a lot of yards, but he will buy time. Although, again, with this testing data, I don't know if it'll translate. He goes off script productively. He's somebody who can go off script. Again, I wonder how well it works at the NFL level. And all the production in college is undeniable. But he doesn't really have an arm to my eye. He has no ability to push the ball down the field to me. The main reason why he put up big numbers is he threw a lot of easy screens. 30% of his passes were behind the line of scrimmage, which is a Bo Nix-like rate of throwing screens. And consider this. Bo Nix throws 30% of his passes behind the line of scrimmage, and his completion percentage is over 77%. Austin Reed does it. His completion percentage over the last 2 years combined is 63%. That tells you how bad this guy's accuracy is down the field. He can't do anything. He's feeding off of screens, and he still has a lackluster completion percentage. His release looks awkward to me, makes too many mistakes, commits too many turnovers, and just generally speaking, the arm's not there. Again, these small school guys who you can't trust a lot, but if they can objectively prove they have a good arm, then they have some staying power. This guy, I don't see the arm. I see a Brock Purdy arm. And in fact, I think that Austin Reed to me is like if Brock Purdy was a gunslinger. That's the comparison I wrote here. There's not anything here that I'm really intrigued by. I like the fact that he's a processor, I guess. I like the fact that he has good pocket presence, but I don't think that makes up for the lack of arm, the lack of agility, the lack of athleticism, the lack of accuracy despite having a very easy offense most of the time. He kind of makes me think of like if Brock Purdy was somebody who just constantly wanted to take chances and take risks. And that's not really what a Brock Purdy experience should be about. Brock Purdy should be about mitigating risk. So I don't think there's anything here that's draftable. I have a UDFA grade on him all day. And I'm just not really feeling it. I know Hawksnest likes him a little more than I do, but he doesn't really like him. I don't know. I'm trying to find something appealing here, and it's thin. It's tough. All right, so that's it for this video. There's going to be one more video looking at a couple more quarterbacks before we're done here, and then we will be moving to another position tomorrow. But still wrapping up these quarterbacks. Let me know what you think of Austin Reed, and let me know what you think of Kedon Slovis. See you guys later.